let's go. Design-wise, here the new 7 Series, relatively high in the front, rather angular design, split headlamps, and this huge double or even mono kidney. What do you think? Versus the more traditional design of the Mercedes S-Class. Even if you pick here the AMG line, you have the upright standing star on the hood here, a little bit lower, more classic sedan form. Turning indicators. Here with the BMW we have this pulse effect, like a heartbeat. With the Mercedes, more classic. Here in the side profile, let's talk about length. 5'39" for the BMW 7 Series or 212 inches. That means this new length is 10 centimeters or 4 inches longer than the Mercedes S-Class. However, technology advantage for the Mercedes S-Class, both offer rear axle steering, but the S-Class up to 10 degrees. The rear wheels turn into the opposite direction than the front wheels. With BMW is maximum 3.5 degrees, and that makes the S-Class, in parking in and out, basement, garage and so on, so much more agile. Visually, by the way, yes, we have AMG line versus the M Sport Pack, so very comparable. It's just that we have smaller wheels on the S-Class today, 19-inch in an aero design, 21-inch with the BMW 7 Series. In the rear, the design difference is very obvious once again. Contemporary with the 7 Series, but more angular design, and then a more timeless classic sedan rear for the S-Class. Which one do you like better? Here, as for the rear lamps, actually more stretched here and slimmer with the BMW. Let's take a look at the turning indicators. Both have spectacular functions. With the 7 Series is more this pulse effect once again, and with the S-Class we have these these three-dimensional vertical elements inside. Looks also real lovely, doesn't it? Air suspension, by the way, is equipped with both. Key comparison, I think both have something, right? Galvanization feels a little bit more premium than the BMW, is a little bit slimmer, but you can also get this computer key at BMW. Both also offer soft close, but let's still compare the door closing hammering sound. Really subtle with the 7 Series. And with the Mercedes here, the handles fold out, and then let's listen. Also sounds good, but there I think the 7 Series sounds a little bit better. But here also then soft close possible. Seating position in the S-Class, although from the outside it looks lower, the seat itself is more plush. You sit kind of like on the seat, I would say. Steering wheel, you have a little bit more capacitive BS buttons here. In the BMW, it's a mix, I would say. Seating position in the BMW 7 Series, G70 new generation, really super comfortable. The seats give you enough side support. At the same time, they don't cage you in too much, so great compromise. And also this whole driving position, relatively low still, it gives you the feeling that this is still a driver's vehicle. Interior cockpit overview, super clean and high-class materials. The only thing that doesn't feel that good is here, awesome at night with the ambient lighting. It's really amazing. But when you hit the turning indicators, also looks nice. But when you really deeply press it, that's not that cool. But that's kind of like the only flaw. Everything else, what you look, what you feel, it's really high class. It's good that in the lower part we can still control the infotainment system with that one. Everything else and also via touch, and also the AC unit via touch. That's what I dislike with both vehicles. Steering wheel I prefer here with the 7 Series because these buttons are kind of integrated as one, but they still give you good haptic feedback, and this then is for real for adjusting the speed. Instruments, modern and clear to read, and you can also change the whole layout. Both vehicles come with a head-up display. Here the more subtle one in the 7 Series. Infotainment system in the BMW, horizontal layout. You can argue about the hardware layout and also about the software layout, but what you can't argue about is that the BMW system is more responsive, quicker, and so far showed no errors or bugs at all. This is here the Apple CarPlay integration, Android Auto as well, but both only wireless here. Interior overview with the Mercedes, completely different layout indeed. It's a nice horizontal design element here, and then this screen is vertically attached basically. With the digital instruments in the Mercedes, you can still get this classic analog look at least, or like this even more, so you're a little bit more flexible and also in the color schemes. And the head-up display available in 2 different trims, and the second one also with augmented reality. Mercedes has more fancy features. For example, when you switch the digital instrument view, also the infotainment system view changes. So yeah, then you can find your personal favorite style for your S-Class here. The AC unit is still integrated here also. The infotainment system overall is less responsive overall and has sometimes a little more failures here and there. But the overview here is a little bit better, so definitely pro and con. Rear seating comfort here in the S-Class. You feel that the bench is a little bit stiffer actually from the material. So the 7 Series comfort in the rear to me a little bit better. However, what I found better here is easier setup, for example, to control the different sun blinds, just here with the window levers up and down, and also for the sun blind behind me or something. It's just a press of a button, and also to push the front seat forward here, just a press of a button. I don't have to go in the screen or something. When I can test here the executive driving position now, it is fine for me. But in the Audi A8L and in the BMW 7 Series, I can stretch my legs a little bit more, you know. It's fine, but you feel there's some length difference. It's luxurious enough, definitely. Also here with this middle console, there you can also control everything here in the screen if you like, or use these internal screens, but they're also just an option. The Mercedes sunscreens, they are split in front and rear. And the difference then is that, well, you have this barrier there in the middle, but the front one you can actually open. Rear seating in the BMW, it's extremely comfortable in here, even with the base bench setup. So plush materials and so on, and good ergonomics underneath the seat. And you feel like you have this single seating. And you can also go for the optional screen here in the top part, the theater screen. Not really necessary, I would say. Rather use your own iPad or smartphone and so on. But you have more legroom also stretched out in this executive package, and overall just more comfort here in the rear in the 7 Series, I feel. The basic controls, however, even here of the sun blinds, are all digital here in this screen, and that makes things more complicated, I feel. And when you put down the armrest, this is not the nicest solution here for a luxury sedan. In the 7 Series you get a fixed glass roof, but then you have no barrier on the middle. Trunk or boot comparison. There's a button here for the 7 Series, and underneath here for the S-Class. Liter figure-wise, 550, 540 for the pure combustion engine versions to compare. Kind of equal, but actually good space in the width. Here it's just a little bit higher because there's the hybrid battery underneath. So in the pure combustion engine version it would also be deeper, but then again it's a little bit more narrow right here. So both overall comparable engines. I love it when they have gas struts. Cool shot, right? So they have something in common, and also something else is different. Well, they both have 3-liter 6-cylinders, petrol and diesel, then also 8-cylinder petrol engines, 4.4 liter for the BMW, 4 liter for the Mercedes. Welcome to Thomas's Comparison Driving Lounge, starting with the BMW 7 Series in the new generation. Ooh, sport mode. The gears are getting preloaded, and let's go! Well, that was 70 to 120 kilometers an hour acceleration, stopped by this Seat Ibiza. Let's go again. Super smooth acceleration. Feels like nothing. 160, 180, and wow, it's so silent here. The car remains so stable. Incredible. 200 kilometers an hour, 125 miles an hour. It really feels like driving a normal vehicle at 100 kilometers an hour or 60 miles an hour. This is, yeah, pure perfection on the German Autobahn here. Wow. Yeah, it's really something to enjoy. Suspension here is a little bit stiffer in the sport mode than standard air suspension, but still, it's on a very good comfort level, so really, really good compromise. The sophistication of the ride has even been increased in this generation. Lane change here feels really nice and sporty, super smooth, and putting in the turning indicators is so much fun. This feedback, you know, you hear this clicking sound, really good haptic feedback. What about when we change the motorways? That's always a very interesting part. Here we go. Sport mode, yeah, there you feel the weight of the large luxury sedan now. So especially when you're a little bit faster in these corners, you can't deny that it's not a sports car, you know. But for this segment, that's what I'm saying, it still feels pretty sporty. Now driving the Mercedes S-Class, and here, look at that. This is a U-turn. It's incredible. The rear axis steering here acts even stronger than in the BMW 7 Series, both of course in good vehicles, but here just more degree angle. Wow, this is awesome. Then let's take it here to the sport mode and German Autobahn. Let's go. 70, 120, ah, nice, 60, and 180. Wow, it's really nice. This is here the 3-liter 6-cylinder combustion engine, in this case then paired with the plug-in hybrid model, but the battery is at the moment empty, so I can better compare pure combustion engine to combustion engine. But this is not the main focus here about the engine comparison, it's more about how the car is feeling actually. And yeah, the thing is here, if you compare it to the previous generation, also here this S-Class generation feels sportier, and main thing about this is the steering input here. No dead zone area, and in this sport mode also the air suspension gives me a little bit more feedback, and also the steering throttle input changes. That's very interesting indeed. So before, in that previous generation, there was more gap of this sportiness gap between Mercedes and BMW. Here a little bit less definitely. Now it's getting really interesting. Let's see here, switching motorways. Of course, you feel the weight of the vehicle, but the rear axis steering is evening that out a little bit. Interesting. So, that was actually quite good.